My name's Darren. I've worked for about 10 years in Visit Brighton and lived in Brighton for 20 years. I was born in London, but I was seduced to move and live down in Brighton by its stunning environment and what it has to offer. My relatively brief talk is to share with you just some of the highlights of the city. It's a chance for you to get an understanding of its unique coast and countryside location and how that can be explored and used should you decide to visit. It's a quick look at its diverse portfolio of conference venues, its social venues, as well as some ideas for experiences and for incentive groups. And the final part really will be just to touch on how Visit Brighton can help you. We've been helping domestic and international conference planners place events in our city for years. Our service is free of charge, and there really is a tangible value in using the resident experts in Visit Brighton. Before I move on to the next slide, I just really wanted to give you a bit of background on the image. The image you see there is our Royal Palace in Brighton. It's called the Royal Pavilion. And this was a seaside retreat for King George IV. And we really have to thank King George IV for turning Brighton from a relatively small fishing village into the vibrant coastal destination that it is today. It is actually available for private hire for VIP events and dinners and meetings and such like. Probably a good idea to give you where we're located in the UK if you don't know it. In the top left corner there, you've got a snapshot of the southeast of England, and you've got Brighton nestling right at the very bottom on the south coast there. Our nearest airport is Gatwick, which is just 20 minutes by train. And there are about 7 or 8 trains per hour. So getting to Brighton from Gatwick Airport is really, really easy. Should you wish to take a private coach or car transfer, it's about 30 minutes by road. Trains to and from all the London terminals are just under an hour. And if you're traveling into the UK from Heathrow Airport, we're around about sort of 90 minutes away from that airport. If you're traveling into the UK on Eurostar as well, you just need to disembark at Ashford Station, and there's a connecting train which takes about 40 minutes. On the larger element of that slide is a picture of Brighton, and the beauty of Brighton is that it's so compact. We do call ourselves a 10-minute city, in so much that you can walk to all the key points of the city in that time frame. Just a huge amount of accommodation within the city. Within the confines of Brighton, you're going to find around about 15,000 bedrooms of various types and various styles. And most of the hotels are located along the seafront, and all of which boast just amazing views of the seafront and obviously the sea. And the retail sectors in Brighton are diverse. We've got the high street brands, but really you want to head to the lanes and the North Lane area, where you'll find the independent shops and the buzzing boutiques. And it's a real asset for our city. It's what business and leisure visitors enjoy, and you should really try and take time out to enjoy that really quite an eclectic mix. Because we're so compact, you know, the need for complicated shuttles and transfers and taxis are just not needed. You know, you can just simply walk everywhere, or as they do in Brighton, put on a pair of roller skates, jump on a bike, on a skateboard, whatever you decide to do. Just want to touch on Brighton's venues. I mean, I could talk for about 25 minutes on this, but I can't. I've led with the picture here, which is the Grand Brighton. I chose this because it's one of the original hotels built in Brighton, and it really does command kind of center stage on our seafront. It's one of the most prestigious venues that we have in the city. It boasts over 200 bedrooms, a wonderful range of sea-facing meeting rooms, and of course sea-facing bedrooms as well. It's a really popular choice for leisure visitors, but also incentive groups and business delegates as well. The range is diverse. Visit Brighton work with over 50 of the meeting and event venues across the city. So whatever the size of your group, we're pretty confident we'll be able to provide a really viable venue for you. We have the largest residential conference centre in the southeast, which is the Hilton Metropole, and we have one of the largest conference venues in the southeast as well, which is the Brighton Centre. So whether you have 10 delegates or 4,500 delegates, there is going to be a venue there for you. The mix of venues is modern and contemporary. We have sporting venues, we have historical venues. And again, the beauty is most of these command a seafront location. It's really nice. In some of the warmer months, it's really not unusual to see delegates perhaps taking a packed lunch on the beach. These hotels and conference venues can provide that for delegates, along with a blanket and perhaps a beach towel, and really getting a sense of place by taking their lunch on the seafront. I've actually seen breakout sessions on the beach, which was fantastic to see. You kind of have to combat the wind and the seagulls, but even so, it's a really good thing to do, and something probably that can't be done in more urban locations, I'd suggest. Okay, Brighton for social events. We love being social. There are a huge amount of bars and restaurants and social venues in the city. The image we're looking at here is the British Airways I-360, who were the architects behind the London Eye that was built in London. It's a 162-metre observation tower. It's the world's tallest and slimmest structure. It has a viewing pod that gives visitors a 360-degree view across Brighton, its seafront landmarks, as well as the English Channel. It has seafront banqueting space, but the pod itself that holds 200 people is a great location to hold an evening dinner or a private drinks event. I've already mentioned the Royal Pavilion, but in the same area of the city, we have Brighton Museum, which is a great backdrop for social gatherings. We also have Brighton Pier, which is great for informal events, perhaps fish chips and a glass of champagne and let off some fireworks. And the amazing Brighton Corn Exchange, which is a lovely Grade 1 listed property, also within the centre of our city. Restaurants are plenty that can be hired exclusively, or you can hire private areas of that. And it's great to see a lot of those on the seafront. The seafront is a really clean, attractive, safe and welcoming space. And the way it's been developed over the years is absolutely fantastic. It's really one of the main social hubs for the city. And it's a place where, visitors and residents mix in real harmony. Just want to touch on some of the experiences. I suppose local and genuine experiences is what we're trying to promote here. And there's no better advert than Brighton Food Tours, Kat and Angela, who were really passionate about Brighton's homegrown and offbeat indie food offering. And what they do is take you to a selection of their favourite hotspots. They kind of go off the beaten track and meet some of Brighton's most exciting and unusual independent vendors and producers. It's here that you hear the stories and their passions behind their restaurant. But best of all, you get to sample some drink and food from that restaurant. They can cater from groups from 10 to 100 people, and I would absolutely recommend building that into your itinerary should you decide to come. 15 miles of seafront, a huge amount of sea-based activities, as you can imagine, paddle boarding, open water swimming lessons, morning beach yoga, yacht charters, whatever it is, there will be something there on the sea or on the seafront that you can enjoy. There's one in particular that I went on, which was called lure boat fishing. It's where you go out with on a tutored fishing trip. You return with your catch, and the expert chefs at a local restaurant will prepare and cook and serve that to you. If you go to visitbrighton.com/conferences, there's a huge amount of ideas and suggestions for you. Spoke about Brighton and its coastal location. You know, heading a mere 15 minutes out by coach or car, you'll find yourself in the Sussex countryside. It's amazing villages and the South Downs National Park. I don't know if you know, but Brighton is located in an area that we call the Living Coast. And the Living Coast is one of only 7 UNESCO World Biosphere regions in the UK. The Living Coast aims to be a thriving environment for all and a place where locals, but more importantly, visitors can connect with its nature, its wildlife, and its local history. The image we're looking at here is of Stanmer Park, and again, just 15 minutes outside of Brighton, and it sits at the very bottom of the South Downs National Park. It's surrounded by ancient woodlands and park. And not only is this a great venue to meet, drink and sleep in, but it's a great place to use as a base for your activities in the countryside. So you can do guided walks, cycle tours, forest bathing, learning a local craft, woodland yoga, or visiting one of the multi-award-winning Sussex vineyards, which has been a real development in Brighton and Sussex over the past years. Another activity I've done, because we have to try these activities, of course, as you can imagine, it was a hedgerow and forest foraging trip. And it was a half-day guided activity where you identify plants, the best picking practices, the local spots, and you find free food, basically. You take it back to an open-air kitchen, and Brighton Cookery School turn those ingredients into tasty and nutritious dishes. Best of all, you get to taste some Sussex cider as well. So it's a really great day out, and I would absolutely urge you to kind of escape that urban sprawl and immerse yourself in the countryside. I've kind of rambled on a lot, but I can't leave you without kind of, you know, offering our help to you. You know, there's lots of words on that slide there, but we are the resident experts. You know, we are here to help you, and we can do everything from venue finding, proposal generation, getting those kind of preferential rates, you know, through to promoting your event, making those introductions, and should you need it, we can even get our Mayor of Brighton and Hove to open or close your event. My contact details are in the top right corner. And again, please do make contact if you need any information on our city. I'm going to end there. I've probably overrun a little bit, but I hope that gives you a small flavour of Brighton. And again, it's a really interesting option for you to consider, and we do hope you're able to visit us at some point in the future. That's it. Thank you.